Hey, Angie Fenimore here, and this is Fat Chat with my writing coach. Are you having the experience that the world's kind of burning down? Like literally, right? So we're gonna touch on a few things tonight. So, first of all, if you are experiencing a lot of stress, what you should know is that writing is proven to be one of the most effective forms of therapy. So my husband Michael and I, who are also business partners, something that we used to do is go to inpatient um, addiction rehab facilities and teach writing. That's right, for healing. And we would get like, of course, it's different patients coming in every week. And the first week we'd see them, they were completely disconnected and like not even present. And, a couple weeks down, they'd be the ones telling the new guys, hey, pay attention, this works. Right. And by the time we got through, it was a 4 week course that we just started over for, we'd go every single week and, have them write and teach them some elements of writing to have it be effective in case they're not just writing for personal, for healing. Um, and by week 4, it's like we're talking to a different human being. So you should know that writing is actually one of the most effective forms of therapy. And it's not just my personal experience, like trauma and addiction therapists know this, right? Okay. So I read this article today and I think it's in Shape magazine. I'm not sure. I get my news through Apple because I have an iPhone. So the title is 10 Weird Ways Your Body Reacts to Stress. I'm taking a little bit of a break Sunday through Wednesday. I'm going down to St. George with one of my kids who also writes, and we're taking, like, I'm leaving my phone at home and not checking any news whatsoever and just, doing a reset. So anyway, here's the 10. I have 9 of the 10. Your brain short circuits. So in high stress situations, what happens is you get this release of adrenalines, the fight or flight, you know, hormones just start racing and can cause your brain to short circuit. And so you can have like this glitchy brain, or you suddenly have to excuse yourself, like run to the bathroom right now. You break out. Yeah, you can probably see it right there. So I'm 56 years old and I have dry skin. I don't ever break out. Like, I haven't had an acne breakout probably in 20 years. But anyway, so breakout, that's one of them. You can't quite kick that cold, right? So I'm not talking COVID symptoms. I'm talking, like, I don't know. I always have a ready tissue with me, always, all the time, because I just can't, get rid of this. Your hair starts falling out. True story. Your nails look funky. So apparently, um, if you have high stress, you get these ridges, which I'm like playing with today before I read the article, thinking, God, my nails just look awful. And I have, like, I don't do my nails. See, I bite my nails is what I do, but I spend a lot of time typing. I spend a lot of time um, gardening, that kind of thing. I do a lot of things that require my hands. So I don't do my nails, but my nails are um, especially funky right now. Your brain shrinks. So there's the one that I'm saying I say I have 9 out of 10. I don't know, maybe my brain is shrunk, but that's not something I can really measure. But I think this one's very interesting. Your brain shrinks. Stress turns off a genetic switch that would normally spur your brain to produce new synapses, which allow your brain cells to communicate with one another, shows research from Yale. As a result, your noggin's gray matter volume falls over time. Gray matter is at least partially involved in your emotion regulation, the authors of the study say. And there's evidence linking this type of brain shrinkage with higher rates of depression, they add. So there you go. I don't know. I don't know about that one because I can't measure it. Your ears ringing. like several times a day. My ears are ringing. Um, Cuts and scrapes just won't heal. I have eczema, and and it's like very interesting the where it is. It's like on the outside of my knees, and then dry skin on the top of my thighs, just like one little patch, but it's on each leg about the size of my palm. Well, I picked at it about 3 or 4 weeks ago and got this little spot. Well, it's just like not healing. Um, so your cuts and scrapes just won't heal. And your stomach aches. So I pretty much have a constant stomach ache or nausea. So here's what I'm doing, okay, to relieve this. I'm turning off the news and I'm taking 4 days with somebody that I can be completely myself with. And we're going to go pajama shopping tomorrow. We're going to get a new pair of pajamas, each one of us with our N95 masks, by the way. And that's what we're going to wear the whole time. And I'm going to write. So I'm shutting off all the things that are causing me stress. And I'm doing something that I know works. So, writing. All right. That said, now I want to talk a little bit about keeping the seed buried. So, if you've ever done any, gardening, you know that when you plant the seeds, it doesn't work to keep digging them up and looking at them to see if they're growing. You'll kill them, right? It's the same. The same is true for our writing. You want to keep the seed buried. You don't want to share your work with others until you're way, 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 way down, like with the process, so that your voice stays true, and so that you're not influenced, and so that you don't also shut down your creativity. Now, we did a masterclass last night, and if you missed it, I'm going to put the link here for the replay, and you can watch it. We did a master class last night where we talk about the three secrets, the three secret ingredients for writing and publishing success. And one of them is to keep the seed buried. Now, I promise you, we have a lot of experience in this. It works. But I go into great detail about keeping the seed buried because that's one of the secrets in this. So I'm going to pop this link into the chat right now so that you have it. There you go. You can click on that and you can watch the replay um, for that. It's just, it's like any other recipe. If you get one thing wrong, or you don't have, let's say you don't have white sugar and you're making chocolate chip cookies, you can't just substitute in more butter. You're not going to get cookies. And it's just, if you're missing 2%, you may as well be missing the whole thing. We make this extraordinary soup that I make up every time. When we do our pitch conference, in the past, I think we've gotten big enough now that we may not be able to do this, but I used to feed everybody at writers' conferences, if you can imagine, 50 people. Yeah, every meal for 3 days. But we make this extraordinary soup because we're being responsible for, we may have participants that are vegan, we may have participants that are keto, we may have participants that are diabetic, right? So it's this vegetable soup with carrots, butternut squash, Brussels sprouts, leeks, and then I use a vegan stock in it and brown rice. And then it's always at least a few sprigs of fresh rosemary. And if we don't have anybody that has celiac disease, I use soy sauce instead of salt because it just gives it more body. But every time people ask me what's the recipe, and every time I have to say I have no idea. So I started like checking, what am I putting in this? Because it's actually just those few ingredients, and then I might change it up a little bit. Like, I don't know, maybe I have extra broccoli. I might throw that in there. But the thing is I have to have those basics. And if I'm missing, that stock, that vegetable stock, I'm not going to get the same soup. It's just not the same. And you really need that balance between the green vegetables and the orange vegetables, or it's not the same. And I always make a version without the rice for anybody who can't eat the rice. But the point is, I, even though I'm measuring those things like in my hands, I'm not really actually how much salt does this have? And it's always kosher salt if I have somebody that is kosher. We use kosher salt instead of the soy sauce. I'm not measuring those things. I'm tasting. It's kind of like your writing is like that, where you've got to hit all those elements, but you've also got to um, have enough wiggle room that it's unique to you. It's yours, right? And you will mess with that. You will mess with that if you let other people see it. I know that this is counterintuitive, and I know the industry teaches like first thing you got to do is go join a critique group. Well, that is the quickest way to shut down your own creativity, stop trusting yourself, is to get advice from other novice writers who don't actually know what makes a story work. So there you go. It's there. The link is there. Click on that and have a great weekend. I will check back in with you on Monday. And let's see, what should we do for a challenge tonight? This is like, keeping the seed buried is actually being a really good gardener. So be a great gardener AF. There you go. Ciao for now.